God bless you for my viewers. May I say, watch ya. Watch you go here, so people. The Gaza boss. Back at it again. Street vibes rum. Mad thing. Different label, different style. Imagine if Cartel the day road all the music. Jaja. And not only music alone. Man, business minded. Them can't stop the boss. Mad thing. Mad thing.
No, one time I go live. One time I go live before me at Spanish Town prison.
Yeah, me G.
And it was about 4 seconds.
The Russian when you say?
Russian.
Yeah,
about 4 seconds. Big up Jamaican community. 4 seconds.
Yes.
Bro, me say next day, when me look at myself, me see about 200 water. Yeah, man, and take from my TV, my radio, my book, my pen, my pencil, charge it.
Yeah, Arise not here, but Arise not here, Rascal, Simmons are going over there.
Brother, all the paint out I sell man them take. All the paint out that's brick left and the Rascal sponge.
Yeah.
To blood clot. But your lady said I was there. Yeah, man, I don't go time that me go live on IG. Where me there at Spanish Town prison. Yeah, man, everything gone out of myself, man. TV, everything, man. Radio, everything.
Yes,
wire, everything.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Yo, the boss said he must sleep on ground long before carpet. The man said it's a big stone. I couldn't my heart this. The man said a kitten. I couldn't my dog this. I'm done with the earth here, man. I go back a Saturday.
Tell you something, you have a pastor on TV, Jennings. That pastor is a very good pastor. During my time at prison, I find myself watching program on CVM every Sunday morning 8:30 come on. And the man they make me understand, say, listen brother, the man they preach something I'm gonna hear no pastor in the world I preach. So yeah, I find myself closer to God just because of the preaching of Gino Jennings. You understand, the man they preach in depth to some things, so yeah, and that helped me for can learn to forgive people more. You understand what I mean, Fred? So yeah, man. You know what I mean, I'm a Christian. I'm not Christianity in the Bible, but not that.
I want to show you, there was a Jamaican artist who served 13 years in prison in Jamaica, and he was set free, and he is going around now having interviews, and somebody sent me the interview. He confessed that he used to be an atheist. He didn't want nothing to do with God, and he didn't believe in God, but now he received a change of heart, and the thing that changed his heart was the truth of God telecast.
That's right.
He said because people would always present the Lord like the Lord is just loving, he don't hurt, he don't bring no pain and none of that. And then he heard us by God's grace explain the various things that God do to man.
In the book of W0RMY.
He loved you and he beat you.
That's right.
He loved you and he chastised you.
Now welcome back to another exclusive for live. Now blessing goes out to all my viewers and all my subbies, all my well wishers. Like, share and also subscribe if you haven't done so already. Coming up in today's topic and review. Now thanks for tuning in again, my viewers and my subscribers, to another one exclusive for a topic discussion and review. And before we get into today's topic, for all who haven't subscribed as yet, please make sure you hit the subscription button. Also, do like and share this broadcast, because this broadcast is very interesting, and this just gonna show you that the Jamaican Labour Party right now, the management, the parliamentarian, them are all confused and I live like puss and dog. Here we have MP Everald Warmington rush Nigel Clarke big time in the House of Representative, put him on spot, call him out about some woman we have next to him was supposed to be some accountant or whatever, but this lady, as Warmington said, is working illegal.
The issue is, the Auditor General cannot do it because she's illegally sitting on that as a commissioner, as against what the Constitution provides for. So who is going to provide the audit for that department? The Auditor General herself travel abroad to do these audits. I know the local staff, the staff in the Auditor General department, they do the local auditing, but she takes on herself to do overseas expenses as such. Is she going to get additional upgrade for flying and hotel and so on? Because she do the external one. What are these expenses for, additional expenses for the Auditor General department?
Oh, my viewers and my subscribers, this is what we're going to have him no easy, no, we don't know how he my MP, no. They said the man a drill Nigel Clarke and the man does have fun with it, the man does laugh, they can show you the clip, you know. But they say, him no easy, and the reason why he might go on, sir, and a beat up himself and a go on, you know, just because of the little money where the Integrity Commissioner get, where Nigel Clarke sign it off as the financial minister. Warmington say the Integrity Commissioner get too much money because what? Him and him other friend vote for defend the Prime Minister to the end. So anything we have to do with the Integrity Commissioner, him a burn it dog because as them say, the Integrity Commissioner and a witch hunt pan Andrew Holness because them believe say they don't see nothing wrong with Andrew Holness having 28 bank account and all of these money we go through the account and everything. Them say they must see nothing wrong with that. That's standard. Them say them Prime Minister for rich. Him supposed to be the richest man in Jamaica. It doesn't matter if him have to rich or for poor people. Cause that's the only way him go rich. Or the only way him do it as when me say I bring in foreign investors, I sell out everything, and then now whatever deal him and them a make is like him just a make them deal for himself, not for the nation. And whatever development a go on, the average Jamaican can't really afford it. If you come from foreign, yes. But if you live in Jamaica, the only way you can go in that unless you are going to work like slave. And that's a real talk. I'm in a business YouTube one say me say that word there, but I true. Because that's the only way as an average Jamaican you are able to can go sleep or enter in one of them room there, in a them big hotel there, or in a these luxurious apartments where them are built up in Jamaica. No Warmington tackle Nigel Clarke. I'm not normal, but Nigel Clarke put him in a spot because if this MP, we say my MP, if him haven't realized that throughout the 6 years, the Integrity Commissioner has released a audited report every year. Mr. the leader put out a clip, a beat Mr. Warmington. Mr. the one newspaper put out a clip, a beat Mr. Warmington, and look what them say. Some MP don't read. I see alarm over the lack of knowledge among legislators who fail to review report sent to Parliament. Next one saying, it is also obvious that some parliamentarians do not read the reports of the Integrity Commissioner that are routinely tabled in the House of Representatives yearly. Now, PNP member Dr. Dayton Campbell clap Warmington. He must say, it seems they really don't read the report. This show a meeting of August 31st, 2023. The Prime Minister knew for more than a year that he was under investigation. This report was tabled in September 2024. It's obviously amazing that well-thinking people are trying to obfuscate this. Now, may I show you the report. Now, as I said, Mr. Warmington did read the Integrity Commissioner report. He would have said this. Meeting was held by the DI and the other members of his team at the office of the Prime Minister with Mr. Holness in the presence of his attorney. DI explained the genesis of the referral, investigation and possible proportionality of asset linked to the large movement of funds between business owner solely or partially by Holness. After deliberating, the DI advised Mr. Holness that he would be provided with question before the end of the day, to which he should provide written responses. Mr. Holness' attorney also returned Form 3 of the Section 4(5) of the CPA Judge Rule Notice. Papa Jesus. I'm tell you say no. Jamaica we in trouble because it's like a blind and lead blind. Look at this embarrassment. This is a Labourite, two Labourite MP. I go at each other. Warmington asks Nigel Clarke, the financial minister, where outgoing right now to the MIF, why him a pay the integrity commission so much money and all type of integration. Now this is just the first part, you know. Now me go show you the next ballad one, Mr. Charles W0RMY name, where him go on with the other day in the oversight committee with the integrity commissioner, where the integrity commissioner have to deal with them wicked. The man deal with them away. The man says seems like something wrong in this place. Maybe something wrong with the water. Because as soon as these people get into position, them start act out of place. Boy, I have to go check the psychiatric for make sure say she check me out and for also check out these parliamentarian.
I want to add a personal note, Mr. Chairman, if you'll allow me, that back on this question of malice, I have been a lay preacher in the Methodist Church for decades. Malice is not in my makeup, and it is not in the makeup of the commissioners. And there may be persons who need to repent, and they can join me at church, Providence Methodist, any Sunday. I don't know if something is wrong with the water in Parliament, why some people, the moment they get into Parliament, they say certain things and behave a certain way. I don't know if that is it. As a result, I decided that I wasn't going to take the chance of drinking any water here. Another feature, Mr. Chairman, which I'm very serious about, is that because of what has been happening, I personally intend to see if I can meet with Senator Longmore, Doctor, to have a word with her, because it may well be that she needs to have a word with some members of the House.
And everybody get mad. Oh, the commissioner have to step down, and like them can't say that these parliamentarian and the GLP party seems like something wrong with them head. It no take a blind man to see that. Now listen to what go on, yes sir, with Warmington and Nigel Clarke. Now, before me get into the Nigel Clarke and the Warmington, me just want to show no hypocrisy. Now you hear the Integrity Commissioner, retired Judge Panton, call upon the psychiatric and just being sarcastic with what he was saying about the parliamentarian. However, Miss Longmore or no more is saying that she's urging Panton to withdraw his controversial psychiatric comments. And why me I say this woman is being a hypocrite, listen to this clip where she herself made a presentation in Parliament, and she is saying that this week is mental health week within the workplace, and as the Parliament is a workplace, she want test them for say what kind of mental stress, what kind of mental problem they might be going through. So she act like say parliamentarian cannot suffer from mental health. That's why I know say these people say them are psychiatric, them sick in them head because she sick in her head. If she feels like say what Mr. Panton said him need to apologize, the man not said nothing wrong because you already said it in Parliament. Listen to this.
Mr. President, it is that time of year again. Not the pink advocacy today, though that is always present in October. We will do that at another sitting. But this week, the country recognizes mental health awareness, and this year's theme is mental health in the workplace. And I think we can all recognize in our personal endeavors here in this space the great need for our mental wellness practices and exercises as we execute our various functions.
So as you can hear Senator Dr. Longmore expressing herself in the House of Parliament, that is great need for effectiveness of her work be done in Parliament. So we can understand how comes now as soon as Mr. Panton said what you said, you coming out bashing the man and said the man should apologize. It doesn't make sense. Now listen to her. Hypocrisy.
I was really and truly taken aback at his reference on many levels, but particularly with respect to the one in which he made it, actually. You know, mental health matters are of serious concern. We are always advocating for the reduction of stigma and discrimination. And to see someone of his stature use, especially in a forum such as that, in the space, in the House of Parliament, to use this capacity as a tool to almost insult was really, really very disappointing.
Now, Ms. Longmore, Senator Longmore, has it occurred to you that all the disrespect comment from the members of Parliament towards the Integrity Commissioner because he's doing an investigation or tabled a report about the Prime Minister affect this man and put this man in a mental state? You know, hear the man say him have to come check you so you can do evaluation on him, because all of the disrespect from the members of Parliament is what drive this man to make this comment in Parliament, because this man is saying clearly you all must be mental or sick on the head for think that a man like me would try to bring down the Prime Minister. I'm a man of God. Now I never hear you come out and you address none of those concerns. But the man come in Parliament and speak in mind. He could have come and speak in a more vulgar way towards the disrespect towards him. It's not like this man just come in a Parliament, you know, viewers and subscribers, and just start say what him say against the parliamentarian them. No, it's because of all the insult which he received from them, and not one member of Parliament come out and address it or address these members of Parliament. But now the man speak his mind, and you see it, this one I tell you about hypocrisy. Hear this woman, but the man for apologize. Apologize for what? You can't apologize for the truth. Them sick in them head, and them very disrespectful anytime people address them. They both them want apology. Listen, man, listen to this hypocrite woman.
Not necessarily me personally, because I represent my profession, to the profession of psychiatrists and mental health care workers, but clearly my name was personally called. And we should also recognize that the nature of such actions by the chairman is taken away from the very substantive issues of the purpose of that committee meeting yesterday. We recognize that there are many shortfalls to how the commission is functioning at this time. And in my mind, as was demonstrated yesterday, a blatant abuse of power and a blatant mockery being made of our most highest point of legislation in the land. And I think an apology should be forthcoming.
and saying that she's a psychologist or whatever. It doesn't look good because the man didn't say nothing wrong, or he didn't say nothing what you never said. What makes it right for you to say it, but him cannot say it, and him say it in a sarcastic way. But why them take offense to it? Because clearly it's the truth, and the truth are gonna hurt them. So them are gonna run out and say, oh, he should retire and he disrespecting the Prime Minister, cause that's all they keep saying. As soon as they talk anything of sense and of truth and of facts, you disrespecting the Prime Minister, and you need to step down and you need to apologize. And look at this with Warmington and this bald man, and me not hear none of them come out to talk say them supposed to step down.
Chief, morning, sir.
Yes, meeting.
How was the meeting, sir?
Good meeting, man. Good meeting.
I love to see what flashed out in the meeting.
I said what I had to say.
I didn't hear it. I was outside. Okay. I missed most of it, sir. But
everything.
So a lot of ambiguities have been cleared up so far, sir.
I would hope so.
Okay.
I hope so.
Alright, sir. What about the water, sir? I heard something about the water.
No, I can't drink the water here, man. Something is wrong here.
In terms of what, sir?
Well, some of the things that I hear people say, there must be something in there that is causing it. And I suspect it's the water.
Alright, sir.
I don't know how to view it still in a, but me see the Integrity Commissioner as some set of people were doing such an important job, and them get so much little respect of lately, and it's because of one reason, because of the report we table about the Prime Minister Andrew Holness. Since them start them investigation for Andrew Holness, these workers at the Integrity Commissioner comes under so much pressure from members of the GLP party, Panton Street, members of Parliament. Them even go as far as to shoot one of the Integrity Commissioner. The man them have to get bodyguard, have to guard them life because of the job they doing. And me not see none of these parliamentarians or the people them that in power come out and speak about none of these issues. Only thing them can come with is these little prick where the man a cry out for help, because the man say, the man, as me say, him could have come in a parliament and just talk raw, you know. The man still have some form of sense of humor, and him just have to try and play it off like that. But deep down, if you look on the man, you can see say he's a scared man, scared for him life because of the job he's doing. And if you recognize that people, and the only reason why, because them know them a go up against a powerful individual where them life will get disappear because of him. Me don't talk.
The exact amounts that are due, remember, in a restructuring, it's not as if this was just a salary increase. What we have are every individual in the public service is moving in 3 steps: 2022, 23, 24. And so you don't know it all in advance. So you make a provision that's kept at the Ministry of Finance, the ministries, departments and agencies, including the Integrity Commission on the Auditor General, but also Ministry of Education and Ministry of Transport, all ministries, departments and agencies make those calculations, submit them to the Ministry of Finance, they're vetted and approved, and then what happens in this supplementary is that there is a movement from the general provision that was made at the start of the year to the 100 and odd ministries, departments and agencies. And so what you see here is representative of that. Yeah.
Of the 3. The issue is that relate to auditing of the Auditor General's Department. Over the years, I've asked under Omar Davis as Minister, Peter Phillips as Minister, Ollie Shaw as Minister, and I've asked you also. But I must commend you that for all the 4 or 5 Ministers of Finance, you are the first one to have ever had the Department of Auditor General's Department audited and presented to this Parliament. I think we have 2 years audit now due. So can you tell us whether those are on the way? The Minister of Finance is supposed to be auditing that department. Where are we? When are we going to see the audit the last 2 years for the Auditor Department?
We are thank you, man, you don't get
Huh?
We are thank you, man, you don't get nothing.
What year are you speaking about? Yeah,
Just a minute. Your financial secretary can ask you to ask me what year. You know the year that you'll table it here.
Yeah.
So she should know the years that are outstanding.
Okay,
She can ask me.
so I'm glad that you began with a recognition of the fact that
you worked and the time got
that
here.
this administration is the first to, as you have pointed out, to deliver on this responsibility. My information, member, is that what you term as the outstanding year, and I'll correct this if I'm mistaken, but what you determine as the outstanding year is already en route to Parliament, and that is the outstanding would be 22-23, right? 23-24, we're not yet, but 22-23 is on its way to Parliament, or it might actually be here already.
That's a question I asked. You give the answer.
Yeah.
That they're on the way. That's why I asked where we are with those.
Yes.
But not to ask me which him. Can I say I have 3 departments, Mr. Chairman?
Member,
I'm going to
please
the third. I'm leaving the
focus
second.
on the questions that you're asking.
I've been focusing on it. Maybe you're not hearing me. You stop clap. Because I'm going to Interim Commission now, and they come after you. And justly. So let me ask my questions. All right. The Interim Commission, I see you giving them almost the next $1 billion here. It's raised from 1.8 billion to over $2 billion.
What number is it again?
You're giving them $193.3 million in addition. Okay? Direction and management, you have 1.3 million. Financial management and accounting services, 3.6. Human resources, that is the increase in salary that you talk about, reclassification, 59.2. Administration of internal audit, 939,000. The issue is, we haven't seen an audit of that department table in this house, but they are spending taxpayers' money. What I need to know, who is responsible for auditing that department to present the report here? The issue is, the Auditor General cannot do it because she's illegally sitting on that as a commissioner, as against what the Constitution provides for. So who is going to provide the audit for that department? When are we going to see audit for that department over the years? And secondly, this amount you have here of 193 million, does it include any part of the employment of overseas forensic auditor to look into accounts here? And if so, how much of this is going towards paying overseas forensic auditors to look in people's returns? And secondly, before I go any further, in that you are dealing with the department, in acquiring the services of the overseas forensic auditor,
we want to know
what procurement method was used.
Yes.
Was there any procurement method, or it was just employed as a friend from overseas? Are you able to answer this question, Mr. Minister?
Member, member, with the greatest of respect, I think you have the wrong meeting. There was a meeting earlier this morning, the oversight meeting. Were you not there?
In the funds, You are providing funds for them, so they must justify to you why they're asking for this.
Right. So remember, under our arrangements to preserve the independence of the Integrity Commission, funds are provided on a line item basis, and it's within the powers of the Integrity Commission to use the funds that are provided by the government and taxpayers of the country in ways that are consistent with their mandate. To the extent that you have a question on how they have chosen to use those funds, I would humbly submit that that question is better directed to the Integrity Commission.
What about the question about audit of the department presented to be laid in the House?
The best information I have is that the Integrity Commission would be audited by a private and independent auditor.
Already been acquired?
No, as I said, we provide line item resources.
No. The auditing, you were told that independent auditor will be doing it. Right, so I'm asking is, have you already acquired the service of particular independent auditor?
Remember, again, that's a question that is better directed to the commissions of the Integrity Commission. We provide a line item. We provide a line item of expenditure to the Integrity Commission, and they decide how to use those funds, and they are accountable to the Parliament through the Oversight Committee. So to the extent that you want to hold them accountable, I'd suggest that you use the proper organs to do so. Yeah.
Thank you, Minister, for the answer. But we need to make it clear that you are the Minister
of Finance.
Not across there. You won't see that chair. Somebody clap over there when me talk. I'm saying, Minister, I expect that the audit, we get an audit report of that department before the next financial year, before next budget comes here. There's no way we're going to approve another $2 billion for a department that has not been audited for years. Okay? So I expect that the audit be laid here before March next year, because we're not going to allow it to pass through here. If I'm the only person to stand and say, no, I'm going to do it. But there must be an audit at that department.
Remember, I don't think any reasonable person can object to your requirement. These are public funds, and I have no reason to expect that that's a difficult proposition.
For immediate release, October 16, 2024. Integrity Commission alarmed by misrepresentations made in the House of Representatives by Government MP Everald Warmington about audits of the Commission. The Integrity Commissioner notes with alarm comments made by Government Member of Parliament MP Everald Warmington during yesterday's sitting of the Standing Finance Committee of the House of Representatives. The MP falsely claimed that the financial and accounting affairs of the Commission have not been audited for years, and that no audit report had been submitted by the Commission to Parliament.
No, Mr. Wormington, you are something else. You say to a man go on like say him too intelligent or him too smart or him a try defend corruption is one of the worst thing, and especially as a member of Parliament. You should have known this. You know, hear Nigel Clarke say, this is not something hard. We are asking, cause if he was reading the Integrity Commissioner tabling of the report them, you would have see every year the Integrity Commissioner table a audio report.
End of part 1.
Accept what you say in your... Listen. In all fairness, I accept what you've said, but his right to intervene is to be respected.
I respect it, but I'm commenting on his right.
In terms of your own interpretation.
And yes, I have a right. I have a right to respond.
With that, of course.
And in the middle of my questioning,
can you please finish? Yes,
you ought not to obstruct it. We're all members here. And I get the impression, Chairman, this is a serious matter, And why I'm saying this, you have Jamaicans right now listening to us who are confused.
No, Mr. Barlet, man, or whatever your name, you couldn't have said it any better. The nation is confused. Ain't it a shame? Because you all that in power doesn't want any transparency, and when anyone speak out about good governance and good transparency, wanna try to shun it or shut it down, or wanna try using the parliamentary power for override good common sense and good judgment over nonsensical parliamentary mentality. You understand? So that's why the people them confused. If you understand anything what I just said just now, because I don't think I understand what I just said just now myself, but me know say it makes sense. Now, Mr. Barlet, man, this is the second time I see you try to override right over wrong and get shut down by members of your own parliament. Because here we have Malahuma Ford, I tell you say you're wrong.
I believe that Mr. Christie is right. The law is passed by Parliament, and if there are errors to be corrected, the correction is to be done by the Parliament.
About the integrity commissioner, because you come and try hold the integrity commissioner for what other people says about the report. You try disrespect the integrity commissioner. I talk about people, I said this about them. You go as far as to insult the people them. I remind the man about the shooting incident where people shoot him. You act like you're a judge. Like you so. You know make law, brother. You need to calm down. Are you the integrity commissioner talk about? You are one of them. Definitely. Well, as soon as you get a little power, once you get in a parliament, you start act like, calm down, man. We need transparency. We need good governance. Now, my viewers and subscribers, I'm going to show you where this man here, I try to say the integrity commissioner should be all responsible for the release of what people saying about the tabling, or him a try to implicate some type of law for say where the Prime Minister and Dayton Campbell or other PNP members of Parliament was speaking about the Prime Minister illicit enrichment. So him a try to say because them did talk about it in public, according to the law right now, they should be held accountable or some stupid shit like that. When there is evidence for sure say the Prime Minister know he was under investigation. As I show you prior in this broadcast, it was tabled in the Integrity Commissioner annual tabling of them report. But none of these persons that says they are in power and want respect from us as the people are showing no dignity. Everything about them is secret. Everything are hide. They are not a party of transparency. Any party where you say, I say, them a build new constitution law of the land, and I say them now want put in no impeachment law for all parliamentarian accountable for them action. If something no wrong with that, well, something wrong with uno.
So when I ask a question, it is not to attack anybody. I'm not sent here to be friendly. I'm sent here to be effective.
Clearly, whoever sent you, tell them say you buck up on the wrong people them, because you're not being very effective.
And the question, and this is it. even me asking this, remember Paul well is saying you're being defensive or offensive. I'm not being offensive. What I'm being is probing. And maybe because of my legal training.
Now wait a minute. You ain't gonna let that slip past now, bro. Say that again. What did you just say, bro? Listen to this. Say that again, bro.
And maybe because of my legal training. And maybe because of my legal training. And maybe because of my legal training.
Now did he say because of my legal training or my illegal training? On the table the comment section.
And maybe because of my legal training, it is not meant in any personal way. I am probing a matter.
Now with all due respect, Mr. Shinehead, there ain't nothing there to probe. The reason why I said that, because the Integrity Commissioner did not make any public announcement on the report other than tabling the report. Now, if members of the public want to make public statement about it, the Integrity Commissioner cannot do nothing about it until the law has been put in the right place where give the Integrity Commissioner power to do that. And so all this integration and this disrespect you are display right here, so and I try articulate it in a way like you're intelligent. It just doesn't make sense. A disrespect is a disrespect, whether it want be you want to articulate it in a saying in an intelligent way, or if you want to tell a man say he's a thief, it's the same disrespect. We can't sit through it. Now listen to yourself.
You know, since I am the one who had raised it earlier, it is perhaps important for me to gain clarity, because I am now not clear. Section 53(3), and let me read it. Until the tabling in Parliament of a report under Section 36, all matters under investigation by the Director of Investigation or any other person involved in such investigation shall be kept confidential. And no report or public statement shall be made by the Commission or any other person in relation to the conduct of this investigation. Now, I read the chairman's remarks, and I too noted the sentence that said, of course, there's nothing to prevent declarants or persons under investigation from speaking on the situation as it relates to them. You can't tie somebody out. They can say what they want to say. But the real question is not whether they can say it. You can't stop me from saying what I'm saying right now. But if I say it, am I in breach of the confidentiality and the constraint that is affected by this section? That is what Jamaica needs to understand. Not whether somebody can talk, mouth make for talk. But if you talk, are you contravening this section? That is what the country needs to understand from the Integrity Commission.
Now I want you to take a listen to the Integrity Commissioner answer to Mr. Shinehead. And this is the same response that Ms. Mallow Ford says that was correct.
I believe that Mr. Christie is right.
But Mr. Shinehead felt like because of his position, him can continue on with this stupid questioning to integrate the Integrity Commissioner, and also acts as if the Parliament doesn't have a responsibility to the public to make sure that the law is not confusing to the nation and to the Integrity Commissioner and also to the parliamentarian. Listen to Mr. Christie respond.
Chairman, I'd just like to respond to what was just said. This law was not written by the Integrity Commission. It was written by the Parliament of Jamaica. And if there are flaws in the law which are creating different interpretations, I think that's a matter for the Parliament. That hat can't be placed on the Integrity Commission's head. It can't. We have already addressed the issue of conflicting interpretations. It is the responsibility of the country's lawmakers to make clear laws. And if we get into a situation, a pit, where we're, jumping over ourselves as to what this means and what that means, that's a matter for the Parliament to deal with. It can't be our responsibility.
No, 1 second. It is a conversation that, Chairman, hold on. No, it cannot be that I ask a question, there's a response, and then we're going to move on. I would like an opportunity for the flow for me to respond. Now, Mr. Chairman, this is the second time that the Executive Director has responded to my question or comment in that way. He has made it clear now that the hat shouldn't be on his head in interpreting the law. Now, if the Executive Director of the Integrity Commission ought not to be called upon to interpret the law which is going to direct his function, who should?
So you have to laugh. Mr. Shinehead, fix up your face, but stop tough up your face, bud. You understand? The Parliament, Mr. Shinehead, is responsible. The Parliament makes the law. The Parliament also is responsible for the Integrity Commission. Because if the Parliament was responsible in some form or way to the Integrity Commission, we wouldn't have this problem, because the God clause that's there what disallow the Integrity Commissioner to make rules and laws are restricted. You understand, Mr. Shinehead? So until Parliament decide to make clear statutory of the law, we are only going around in circle with this question. So you just make a mockery of yourself, and the Prime Minister send you, but him gonna be very disappointed, because you never come here and do no justice, because there is no justice if you try to be unjust.
It is not only inappropriate, but I believe that response speaks to the stance of the Executive Director. And if I ask a question, you can respond properly in giving me your opinion. You see how the chairman responded? That's what I'm talking about. The chairman gave us his opinion and said, I may not be right. The chairman wouldn't look on me and tell us that is for you to deal with. I think that response, the Executive Director, is not in keeping with the tenor of this Oversight Committee and the conversation we're having now. I'm asking again, and hopefully you will be minded to actually give me some insight into how you think, because how you think and what operates in your mind as the Executive Director is critical to my understanding of the operation of the Integrity Commission and the confidence I repose in it. So if you're unable to answer the question, then you tell me you're unable to answer it because you don't know what it means.
Now again, you come with this persistence, annoyance. First, you need to know the Integrity Commissioner is not there to satisfy your personal curiosity. He's there to make a clear indication to the nation the reason why things are the way they are. And the man I explain to you is that until you lot as parliamentarian, as government, which construct the law, take responsibility for what I do, nothing will never change. And here you are, don't want to take responsibility for the actions. You know, have to make sure say the law is concluded fairly.
But I don't think so. You are someone who has taught law. You are a respected attorney at law. You have served more than once in this position. Your opinion is critical. It is significant. So let me ask again.
Member,
Now watch the chair of the house, who is also a GLP member, you know. Have to stop Mr. Shine in his track, you know, and let him know that the law is the law. The Integrity Commissioner can't answer that question no other way better than how him answer it. This is not about you and your personal feelings, cause I send you copy up. You know come there on your own initiative, you know. You come there because you were sent. You is a little sent out boy. So keep back and watch these people, cause they assure you he gonna get dealt with, cause him own parliamentarian I gotta deal with him properly for how him a go on.
Before there's a member who seeks an intervention for a point of information. And
to seek intervention in my questioning?
Yes, that's what he says.
Chairman, I just want to note that I was a member of this parliament when this law was passed. And I clearly recall what the intention was. It is to guard against people who are being investigated, being prejudiced. That person can waive whatever protection that he or she might have under the law. It is to ensure that investigations are done in secret, so that the person who is being investigated can have that secrecy preserved. But that person can waive that secrecy anytime by saying, I am being investigated and here are the facts. And I don't see anything wrong with that in terms of the general
Chairman,
can I just say,
now this is what I talk about when these younger MP gets in power, them try to shun the law. Cause that's Minister Powell who said he was a part of the making of this ruling. And he must say, if the Prime Minister who is under investigation want to talk about him being under investigation, nobody can stop him. And there is no law which right now within the Parliament will give the Integrity Commissioner any power so hold the Prime Minister accountable if him talk about him statutory declaration or anyone. As a matter of fact, who talk about it, cause remember, you know, the nationwide presenter Cliff Hughes did talk about it before it table in a parliament, and some other news reporter did talk about it before it table in a parliament, and we don't hear them come out and address those issues. And these are the hypocrisy what upset me with these persons and them getting up and think that me tell you say it the Integrity Commissioner Mr. Panton talk about is attitude and behaviors like this. Cause you hear what Minister Powell just said just now, but look on him, Mr. Shinehead, I try brush it to the side and I try prove a point.
And maybe because of my legal training.
When me hear that come out of my mouth, you know, me I say look like, oh, I'm not sensible neither.
And maybe because of my legal training, it is not meant in any personal way. I am probing a matter. And I draw the comparison in how our chairman responded, expressing his own perspective and respectfully saying that he could be wrong. And I can respect that kind of response. But I don't accept that as a member of this committee, I can ask a question and it be said, you who wear the hat, not me?
Yes, you should wear the hat as the member of Parliament who make the law. If you don't want to be responsible, step down. Because as long as you are part of the government, we are going to hold you responsible. You need to make clear law. And the same thing with the Vibes Cartel case. The same thing. Be a confusion. Nothing clear in the law. Vibes Cartel there road there because it takes the Privy Council of the United Kingdom to make on the know say as government on the law is shit. It's wrong. We don't know. We don't need to take responsibility for the law or the actions on the law.
That couldn't be acceptable, Chairman. But let me ask again, for clarity.
I tell you, say this a Shinehead, dog, give up, it's a Shinehead. And no, you know, But you the mother frustrate the integrity commissioner. Girl, the mother asks stupid question after I'm already get the answer. But what you gonna go on the people, man? What you gonna go on?
I raised an issue before around section 53 and 56 asking for clarity whether members of parliament who are under investigation are within the constraint of the Integrity Commission Act in speaking about such investigation before those matters have been tabled in Parliament. The response from the Executive Director to me was to read out a comment, or a statement rather, from the Integrity Commission that says, in my words, all officers or any other person fall within the constraint of the law, and in my terms ought not to be talking about the matter, whether you are in the IC or any other person. I even went on to ask specifically members of parliament. The response are members of parliament persons. Yes. So that was very clear to me. Now, further to that, we have highlighted a statement, a sentence in the chairman's report that speaks to, of course, there's nothing to prevent declarants or persons under investigation from speaking. My interpretation of that is that you can't time them out. I can say what I want to say, just as I'm saying it right now. But that is not what I think is a relevant question for the nation that is watching us. The relevant question must be, not can somebody talk, but if they speak, are they in contravention of this legislation? Now, for me to pose that question, it's important to answer it. So let me do it again and ask whoever wants to answer. Not can somebody talk, but if they do, are they in contravention of the Integrity Commission Act in its current state?
Chairman?
No, you see what I tell you, how this man is annoying. Him asks if, like how the Prime Minister talk about in declaration, if him is in breach of the Integrity Commissioner Act. Now, as Mr. Christie already explained to him, and also the chair explained to him, also Mr. Powell explained to him, him still hasn't get it. Well, him a go get it, cause listen to him, Mr. Christie, I articulate the law to this man, and him still not get it. Him still goes on. Listen to this.
Through you, sir, I think before you left, I think what this further discourse has demonstrated, and this has been my posture.
Turn off yours, Minister.
Yeah, thanks. I think this interchange and engagement, what is useful about it is that we're all talking about a piece of legislation which, interestingly, is under review by this very Parliament. And if we read the law, what the law actually anticipates is that after 5 years, observing how the law operates in relation to the Commission, is there anything which needs changing? No, it should not come as a surprise to anyone that there are going to be conflicting interpretations insofar as some provisions of the legislation are concerned. And to me, I don't see why that should cause any level of consternation. I think where we are right now is that we have identified a number of provisions which are capable of more than one meaning. They are equivocal in meaning. And you want to get to a point where you are clear, you're unequivocal in meaning. And I don't think we should be seeking to pin anyone on a particular interpretation A or interpretation B. when we look at the rules of interpretation, legislative interpretation, one rule that you look for, well, there's a literal rule, and I think that's what we're talking about. It says any other person. And the member is right, we're all persons. But there's also another rule. What was the mischief that the provision was intended to cure or to deal with? Was the mischief that was intended to deal with is members of the commission speaking about the matter while it's on investigation, or as the chairman says, was it intended also to extend as far as to the person who is the subject of the matter? Is he too prohibited from speaking? It stands to reason that the chairman is correct in his assessment in terms of what makes sense. What was the purpose of the provision? The member across the floor, he is hanging his hat on any other person, and that's what I read out. And I read it out in the sense that this is what the law states. Now, what do you, the lawmaker, means by that? And yes, sir, there are members of the public who are listening, and they are confused. And I think right here, it is for us to get rid of that confusion. So I'll just say this, and I've said it before, and I'll say no more. We have identified another provision, which is not unequivocal in meaning. And Chair, with respect, this is another matter that I think should go to the Joint Select Committee of Parliament, if you should so determine. And again, I repeat, it's our lawmakers who make the law. They're not infallible. And this is why we have processes like this, review processes. We're not infallible either. And as I say, this process serves good reason, a good public purpose, to identify errors. It may not have been Parliament's intent to say it this way. Madam Malhu Ford pointed out that, despite section 6.3a of the Act, which says that the Commission shall not be directed by any person or authority. Parliament is an authority. This committee is an authority. And the words are very explicit. They are unequivocally clear. But yet in another provision of the Act, it says that you're accountable. And there's no one on this side who would say that we're not accountable. I've said it several times in this chamber, that we hold ourselves accountable. And we come here to answer your questions and to work with the committee as best as we can. So, Chair, I'll rest it, and I hope the member understands my position. I'm not here to answer questions in a way that satisfies anyone. That's not me. I will give you my answer to a question as I see it. We have identified another provision in the Interior Commission Act which requires address, and I leave it at that.
Except I just wish to point out that the explanation that you give raises a lot of questions about just how we have operated and functioned, referencing the law.
Now, this is a very important part of this broadcast. I want you to listen to the foreign minister, who is a GLP minister, Andrew Holness, right hand. I tell Mr. Shinehead, I mean, I want to know if you take it personally and tell me, say, Mr. Shinehead, because I look on the man head shine. You might say to yourself, say, you know the man head shine, but only you say, may say it in the broadcast. But the man head shine. So, me not disrespect nobody. You understand? It's a fact, and you can't go around it. It's reality. Which happening right now. I look on the man head. I see people head ball, but I never see it so shine. A coconut oil him use, a way him use pan film head. I can't see my reflection in the man head top. However, the Minister of Finance, I educate this man that the law in Jamaica need instant reform. So he also agree with the Integrity Commissioner. Uno listen, people, listen carefully.
And the issue of the interpretation that we may have on the one hand, and the interpretation that the other, particularly the declarants, might have on the other hand. What concerns me at this moment is the actual point you made, E.D. Christie, that the law has to be amended and dealt with dispatch. And I made the comment earlier as chairman of another responsible body that has that overall responsibility, that it will be done, and it will be done with dispatch. Because much of the concerns that are being raised here, the confusion that the member Charles is references, emanates from, again, the imprecise nature of the legal provisions. And the second element that I believe needs to be looked at is the absence of empirical data points for determination of decisions. So that there is probably too much that is left to the interpretation of functionaries in arriving at decisions. So one of the things that we have to look at are there possible parameters to be established, action points to be determined. In other words, a more empirical basis on determining what is required for certification, for example. And so that if we have a list of 1 item, 2 items, 3 items, 4 items, and all those items are met, then certification is automatic. And it removes the individual situation where a director of any area has the discretion to determine. And it removes the reference to phrases like, in his opinion, or if he's satisfied, that there's a system that everyone understands, both the declarant and the commission, as to what constitutes the satisfaction level. And once that threshold is reached, there's no question about certification. So these are points that we have to look at down the road, and definitely is part of the consideration that the JSC is seized with as we move forward.
Can I, please, Chairman? No, but there's some things have been said that I would like.
Now, we couldn't get any clearer understanding of the situation facing the IC and the parliamentarian at the moment, better than what the financial minister just explained to us. But as me I say, Mr. Shinehead, him head tough. Me no know how him learn in a law school. Him still no get it. Here him goes again.
Quickly respond.
But in all fairness, you know, we cannot continue. Yes, right. So please, it's now, as we say, 12:51. Yes.
Again, I'm the one who.
And I want to make the point that I'm fully seized of how important this particular meeting is, and particularly that this is a historic meeting. It's the first time we're having the full commission before us, and it's only that we're going to have more of this, and I will sincerely hope that, you know, we can, after this meeting, structure another to continue perhaps elements of this discussion that are left undealt with. So I will continue, but bear in mind, Parliament must be ready for preparation at 1 o'clock. There's absolutely no getting away from it, because we begin at 2 in the next session. So Member Charles, kindly wrap up, and then we have quickly from Member Mallahu Ford, and then
it is telling what has been said around this provision. In my reading, I recall, Chairman, hearing about strategic ambiguity, where persons can see something that is clear as unclear in order to foster debate, or what some call selective interpretation, where a clear statement or law can be seen as unclear if it doesn't align with the objective you seek. Now, I want to draw a distinction between one's aspiration and the reality. The law as it is now is the reality. What you want the law to be is an aspiration. And what I'm asking about is not your desire or aspiration, it is the reality of what is as it is right now.
Oh, I don't know why Shinehead can't get it, the law right now is tainted at the moment how it stands. So even if the commissioner even try to answer you, you wouldn't get a fair answer because of the law which need speedy reform. Why can't you get it? Alright, listen to him. Because Miss Malou Ford, I gotta give it to him, you know. He's not gonna shame me, you know. May I show you?
Now, the country, as said, is listening. And we have spoken about a number of things. The reference, Chairman, to Section 53 as a law that is unclear must be probed further. I would like to understand what word, what part, what element of that is unclear. And let me read it so that the country can hear it. Section 53(3). Until the tabling in Parliament of a report under Section 36, all matters under investigation by the Director of Investigation or any other person involved in such investigation shall be kept confidential, and no NO report or public statement shall be made by the Commission or any other person in relation to the initiation or conduct of an investigation under this Act. I would like to understand two things. What part of that you don't understand? What's unclear? And secondly, when I first raised it, the response from the Executive Director was to reiterate, it says any other person. So this member, who he says is hanging his hat on the words any other person, I hang my hat there, sir, because you gave me those words to hang my hat on. You are the one that pulled it out of the section when I spoke of it. You are the one that highlighted it. You are the one that asked me to use that as a form of interpretation. How come you now changing what you're saying? I don't understand. And you see, Chairman, it may come off as combative, but that's not my intention. I see clarity. We cannot have a situation where a member of this committee asks a question and it's basically thrown back at me. And the comments is, you are the parliamentarian, you are the legislator. If you make a mistake in the law, for your problem. Well, I'm going to tell you what the big problem is. The big problem is if you have an executive director who is interpreting his aspirations and not understanding his reality. And that is what I am probing. Because if that is the case, we have a serious problem.
Man, go sit down here, man, and step down from out of the box if you don't want the job, brother, you can't deal with the job. Step down, man, make somebody who can deal with it, man. Because what if you don't work at a serious problem you're going to have yourself now. But you don't want to run through your head now. But try make sure you don't start no arms house around here. But serious problem. Here, Miss my Ford or whatever. Sort out this little man and make him know that he is wrong. And right now, the Integrity Commissioner is right. You understand? The Lord need reform, but him can't get it because him has said the reality is the law is what it is right now. And as far as him concerned, him want continue work with this kind of law. And that's why him is so adamant, because this kind of law will make him Prime Minister get off. But what him need for understand, when him come on internet and do these kind of things, him need for learn, even Andrew Holness, them need to realize that the world have changed. We will have the internet where everything that you come and you present yourself, people are looking in on the outside at you and they can see clearly and dissect clearly what you're saying, if what you're saying makes sense, or if what you're saying is just corruption. And we can see clearly from this that what you're seeking is corruption, because if Ms. Muller-Woolford can address the nation, to clarify the nation that the problem is with the law, not with the Integrity Commissioner, the finance, the foreign minister also address the public and let them know that this is the problem. But yet still, you can't see it. You come here try convince the people them that this is the reality. This is what the law is. So, at this we for work on. No, we are going to change that. You understand? We are change that, Mr. Big Man. So get it in your head.
No, we're not
Chairman,
going to. We're not going to.
May I, Chairman? This session is intended to bring some clarity on a number of matters. And certainly from the Oversight Committee's perspective, mine as a member, we're seeking to get a better understanding of the approach taken by the Commission in discharging its functions and exercising its powers under the Act. I believe that Mr. Christie is right. The law is passed by Parliament, and if there are errors to be corrected, the correction is to be done by the Parliament. But Member Charles is also right, because he is seeking an understanding of how the Executive Director interprets provisions of the law. Unless and until a provision is changed, it is a provision that has to be implemented and enforced. And you can only get an understanding of the approach if you understand how the provision is interpreted. And fortunately for us who are lawyers, we know that there are rules of statutory interpretation, starting with a very basic rule. You take the words in their ordinary grammatical context. I mean, the literal meaning of the word, ordinary grammatical meaning in context. A statute has to be read as a whole to prevent any inconsistency. So I don't think that it is unhelpful for the Executive Director to remind that there are problems in the legislation. Parliament has the power to correct. And fortunately, the legislation is under review. I don't think it is unreasonable for the member to ask, how do you interpret a provision, even in the presence of inconsistencies, to enable me to understand the approach that is taken. And it is only by asking and answering that we gain clarity in the matter. I do not believe that all of the issues that require answers will be answered in this session. I do not believe that all the matters that require clarification or that need to be addressed to ensure that we have an effective system in place will be addressed in this session. So I too look forward to other sessions.
Now, Ms. Muller-Woolford, I do want to thank you for your clarity and for your expertise in this matter. But however, I do not agree that the both of them is right. One is right and one is wrong, and you don't need to patronize this man in telling him the truth. You need to be fair and tell him the truth, because it's unfair for him to integrate the Integrity Commissioner like this over an answer that you know, as you said, has to be addressed by Parliament.
Secondly, again, I believe a role that can be played is to guide us in some of the things that we have been criticized over. So I would like to know, as a member of Parliament, what are some of those conflict of interest that we need to be wary of? What are some of those functions that you perform in your private avocation that might run afoul of the law? And certainly, when we become government, what can a cabinet minister do and otherwise? I think those are important functions that, of course, we want. Prime ministers are being questioned about what they do now, much less me. And thirdly, I would like to know, Chairman, in your very first paragraph, you raised an ethics issue. I'd just like to know if you have received a response from the speakers yet.
I could have mentioned it at the beginning, but I didn't really want to. No, the Speaker has not even acknowledged receipt of the letter. And regrettably, there are some patterns of behavior that trickle down, it seems, because I've written twice to the Financial Secretary, who has not even acknowledged the letter either, on either occasion. So I don't know if it is a pattern not to respond to me or the Commission.
I rather think not, Chairman.
Okay.
I happen to know of one of the circumstances, and I think that you will be responded to, I'm sure, in due course. A little patience sometimes works, Chairman.
Oh, I have learned in life to be patient. Once you went to Rossi's, you would learn patience.
Okay, good.